Tech movie. We've had this ready to go. We can put this on the air. It's a very interesting graphic, and essentially what it is a recreation, a 3D simulation of this earthquake. Caltech, it's a fairly new piece of technology.
There it is.
And there it is. And what it basically shows you is a 3D presentation of how seismic waves rippled out from the epicenter that was close to Chino Hills there. And it's color-coded as well. So as it radiates out, and the colors indicate different levels of shaking, I understand that yellow would be the predominant color very close to the epicenter. And as we mentioned earlier, that is what they call moderate shaking. Strong shaking, not very strong shaking, and of course it goes up from there to severe. But this shows you, it can show you the different degrees of shaking within 5 miles of it, from one location to another. You have a lot of shaking. 5 miles away you have very little shaking, having to do with the sediments in the ground, as Dr. Hutton was pointing out a few moments ago.
And I want to remind our viewers that if you'd like to get any more information from our website, please log on to abc7.com. We have a variety of links that will give you more information on what to do in the wake of earthquakes, details about the history of earthquakes, lots and lots of information from Caltech. And of course, again, asking you if you have any pictures that you want to share with us, please send them to video@myabc7.com. And as you saw earlier, we will try to put them on the air. If you could give us some information about where the picture was taken and the circumstances, of course, we will relay that to our viewers as well. So again, abc7.com for much more information and other tools about earthquake.
And we're understanding a little bit of damage there in the Anaheim Hills area, potentially as a result of the shared experience at 11:42 this morning, the 5.4 earthquake. The northbound 241 to eastbound 91 interchange, there appears to be a separation on that bridge, what's being described by those on scene as pretty good size. Describing it as a separation gap. They're advising Caltrans to come out. Caltrans responding at this point. That's all we have. But as we've seen in earthquakes past, roads can and do separate. Earthquakes, much less magnitude than what we saw today.
Yes.
Well.
And Michael, we also have information about firefighters responding to a Macy's store at the Warner Center, or in the Warner Center area on Van Owen. Apparently, there are reports of flooding on the building's 3rd floor. At this point, it is unclear if the flooding is connected to the quake, but we thought we would, of course, pass along the information. Also, we are getting information from Mount San Antonio College in Walnut that the campus has canceled classes for the day. They are expecting to reopen tomorrow, and they are reporting some minor damage, and also that the campus was evacuated at the time of the quake.
Not surprising, considering Walnut is maybe 5 miles at the most due west of Chino Hills. So you would expect to see some damage in that area, particularly with older buildings. Word from Governor Schwarzenegger's office. He is doing all he can and advising his State Office of Emergency Services to reach out to local governments in the affected areas to ensure that levees, bridges, and other critical infrastructure are inspected and declared safe. And to that end, we are seeing a bit of success with these observations and inspections. Metrolink, as we heard a few moments ago, declaring all tracks at this point preliminarily to be safe and free of damage, and all routes are running, as we heard from Denise Tyrell, spokesperson with Metrolink, albeit at slower speeds.
Definitely. She talked about delays of an hour long. And staying on the subject of schools, we're getting a report from our photographer in Chino Hills, Tim Danson, that Chino Hills Unified School District is reporting no damages to their schools. The staff and all students are fine. Again, no reports of any damage or injuries. And you may remember earlier we spoke to someone who was at Disneyland at the time of the quake. We're now getting a statement from Disneyland. And it reads, as a result of today's earthquake, we are assessing operations at the Disneyland Resort and have found no reports of injury or damage. That is good news. The safety of our cast and guests is our highest priority. As per our normal operating procedures, we are currently testing all of the attractions, which explains what the caller earlier said that all the attractions were closed down. People were asked to wait it out. The statement also says that they will reopen the attractions as soon as they can ensure their safe operations, and they will continue to monitor the situation as the day progresses. Again, that statement coming to us from Disneyland.
And LA County's Office of Emergency Management has been activated. That emergency center at a low level, essentially on a standby at this point, heightened alert. We've got Valerie McClung on the phone, very close to the epicenter there in Chino Hills. Valerie, good afternoon.
Hi there.
Welcome to Southern California, earthquake country. Tell me what you felt.
Well, we definitely felt the earthquake here in Chino Hills. I would say that I first felt a very large jolt, and then probably the strongest rolling that I've ever felt in the 20 years that I've lived here. We felt the rolling for about 15 to 20 seconds. It seemed like it lasted a long time.
Did you have a lot of damage in your house? Did the TV fly off the rack?
Actually, I've been so busy here at the city that I haven't had a chance to check on my house. I am about 2.5 miles from City Hall, and I have not heard what's happening at home yet.
Was the building evacuated?
The building was not evacuated. Many of our employees did stand in the door jams, and we kind of braced ourselves for the possible aftershocks. However, the main earthquake is the only one that we really felt.
That's interesting.
You didn't feel any of the aftershocks?
Yeah.
Didn't really notice the aftershocks. Now, I think we might have gone into earthquake mode at that point and started checking to make sure that our crews were out in the field and doing the assessment.
Yeah, from what we understand, you might have had to pretty much been standing still to feel these aftershocks. I guess Caltech saying that only one of upwards of 30 aftershocks thus far has been felt by people. That was about a 3.7, 3.8 magnitude. You say you didn't feel it?
We did not feel it, and our City Hall, we're a relatively new city, and we're in a temporary building. So we may have felt a little bit more rolling than normal.
Okay, Valerie.